welcome back. I'm Bill Voice. This is UK GK TV. This is my friend Dave.
Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back. We've had a couple of weeks off because we've been away, haven't we, Bill?
We've been away, but we've also had some strange occurrences.
Well, we're going to tell him about the last video.
We keep trying to do this thing about 50s sci-fi movies with Mike, don't we? We've had 2 goes at it now. The first one was interrupted by 1,000 phone calls and a little bit of Jaffa cake stuck to somebody.
Yeah.
Right? And then we thought we'd do it again because I was in, and I love the stuff that Mike loves. Me and Mike, we're very, very close in terms of what we like. And we were looking at 50s sci-fi movies and, you know, them, giant creature attack, and all of those things. I made a monster from outer space, everything, right? So we go through it. It's 40 minutes, perfect. I'm thinking, couldn't have gone better. And of course,
Come to edit it,
and it's like we're talking away, and then we go.
So that's Apple's bullshit.
It is. It's a bullshit detector went off and probably put a filter on us. So that's a real shame because I thought we'd cracked it, hadn't we?
You did a good job.
You did a great job.
So we've got to redo
Mike was super prepared, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He had all his cards with him and pictures, and we had posters that we were holding up. It was real. It was real sort of. Well, he's like me as a teacher, so it was like entertain the class.
It was. Yeah. So we're going to have to redo that again. So we'll do it again.
A third time.
For the third time. But we will get it done.
Yeah.
It is there. Failing that, we'll put the first one up. We'll edit the first one. But I think if we can get Mike in, I know he's busy. Is he busy?
Yeah, he's doing his exam work now.
Yeah, so we'll try and get him in and do it properly, and we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, that Gremlins should be gone.
Well, Gremlins, it's part of the business, though, isn't it? Gremlins.
It is. So what are we on about today? Today's the show time, isn't it?
It's
show. Our previews of the shows. We were busy a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, very busy. I just went along as a groupie kind of hanger on to Rotherham.
Yep, that's the Rotherham HorrorCon.
HorrorCon, absolutely.
There's 2 HorrorCons in the UK. That's actually HorrorCon, and the one in November is in Manchester. That's for the love of horror. We went to the one in Rotherham, which is the Sheffield HorrorCon, you know, whatever. We attend it every year, us Andy Cope. We don't sell model kits, but we do sell painted up versions, and it's well received. It's probably one of the best shows of its genre for horror. If you're into horror, it's really good. Yeah. Now, I managed to talk Bill into doing it, you know, because he wanted to do it. So, along he came.
Along it came, but they were so busy, I ended up on the stall for some of the time.
You worked at the stall, didn't you?
Wrapping stuff in bubble wrap and handing it to people with big smiles on their faces. They had like grins the size of watermelons, didn't they?
It was good.
It was great, and I have to say, even though everybody was dressed as a serial killer, it was pretty much the safest place to be in Rotherham on a Saturday.
It was good, wasn't it? It was good. Now, this was the first show that I did it without Rachel because of Charlie, because obviously she's only a puppy. So Bill kindly helped me and Owen. So special big shout out to these guys. And Pete that come along and sat there and kept me sane, which was pretty good really because it was quite a hairy experience, considering we had no grown-ups with us.
We didn't have any grown-ups. Well, even though everybody that came to the store was pretty much over 18, I have to say there weren't many adult people in the whole place, really.
I think we did okay.
I think we did great.
We didn't break too much, did we?
Nope.
The one thing that I did take from the old show is when we came to take a card payment, none of us knew where the card payment machine was. For some reason, what a silly reason to put a picture on the box.
With a card reader?
Yeah, who'd think of that?
Who'd think the card reader would
be in a box with pictures? So us relatively intelligent.
I just assumed the box was empty, and then they lost the card reader. I didn't realise. I'm thinking they'll have looked in the box.
With the card
That's my excuse. It's
but
like the sticker machine at school. It's a big box, a sticker machine. If you want to make stickers using vinyl, there's a big box, a sticker machine. About a couple of weeks back, I was looking all over for this like 2 meter long thing. Yeah. And there it was in the box marked sticker machine. So
what did you think of the show, Bill?
I thought the thing that makes that show like any other show is the two things. The people who come to see it, who were gems. They were lovely.
Really nice.
Yeah. And the people who come to vend, the people who bring their stuff.
Some good stuff there.
Oh, it's like the quality of it is unbelievable, and a lot of it is small batch manufacture, isn't it? There's like you with your painted kits. There's these like hand printed T-shirts. There's these beautiful print vendors with like lovely limited edition signed poster prints.
Oh, they're great.
I mean, there was a Blood on Satan's Claw poster there with Linda Hayden's signature on it. That's the sort of thing that's there. There's DVD vendors with all the most obscure stuff, masks, which are like
Rubber Gorilla, big shout out to Neil.
Rubber Gorillas, and there was like the masks were what I would call cinema quality.
They were good, weren't they?
They're good, it just doesn't cut it. I mean, and then you've got a lot of artists there who are producing this like gothic stuff, lots of skulls and ravens and stuff. What you'd expect in terms of themes, but the quality of the output and the originality of it was unbelievable. There's somebody there doing these like permanent pumpkins. I lost the card that she gave me. The young Canadian lady. I'm going to give a shout out because I'm going to try and.
She was really nice.
She was great, and she explained to me about these lovely pumpkin things. It's like a pumpkin. It looks like a real pumpkin. You carve it like a real pumpkin, but it's made of like polyurethane foam, so you can have it all year. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
there was all sorts. There was mead. Did you see the mead?
There was mead. There was rum.
Have you tried the rum?
I've tried the rum. The rum's lovely. The rum is lovely, and it's got a crow's skull around.
Crow's rum. Big shout out to make that. He's enjoyed your rum.
Yeah, I love the rum, and there's a mead cellar there. I got a ginger infused mead for the wife, but
did you get it?
Drunk most of it.
You couldn't resist.
You couldn't resist it. But it's just that there was a lot of folk horror there as well. There was a lot of Summer Isle.
Yeah,
because Britt Eklund was doing signatures, so The Wicker Man was a big deal. Walking Dead, David Morrissey was there. He was great. He really was great. He was coming away from the table. He was having free photographs of people. He was signing all sorts of stuff.
Very nice guy.
I can see that because they're usually limited to what they can do. You sit behind the table, don't they? And they just sign. But he wasn't doing that.
Griffin Dunn was there.
Griffin Dunn was there, and you got a lovely.
I got two signatures. I got two signed pieces, which I'll put some pictures up at the end, and I'll show you one of the pieces that we got signed. Unfortunately, I've took it home, but I will fetch it back.
But in terms of those things now, they're pretty much priceless now.
Well, like, to be honest, on a Sunday, some guy came up to me, and he wanted them, and I was like, just buy one of the pieces and go get it signed, which would have been cheaper. But he never did, so it was bizarre. Bizarre. So if you attended the HorrorCon, thanks for supporting us. We were the guys at the table. Bill, I'm not mentioning Bill's jeans, by the way. We'll mention them. We'll mention Bill's jeans shortly. I was with a guy, with a young Brian Blessed, apparently.
Brian Blessed? Yeah. Brian Blessed, yeah.
Apparently Gordon's alive, apparently.
Gordon's alive!
Owen looks like a young Brian Blessed. Thank you, Owen, for all the help. I'll let Bill explain the Russell Brand jeans that he had on all weekend. For the ladies.
For the ladies. This is one for the ladies, something for the weekend. Anyway, packing me bag. I don't normally wear jeans because I'm a chinos guy. As you can see, got my chinos on, just chinos. I thought, take some jeans, look rugged, impress.
Get down with the kids.
Yeah. So I pick this pair of jeans up. Normally my jeans are baggy, but I've got this pair of jeans that's really, really tight, and I keep means to put them in the charity, mate. Anyway, I get to the hotel. Obviously, I'm limited with my stuff, and I'm going out with my sister the next day to a restaurant, so I can't put my chinos on. So I put these jeans on. I tell you what. It was so tight, I had lumps in my throat. I was that tight.
And he went out for a meal on
Friday night. So I went out for a meal on Friday night, and I tried to get out of my chair, and I went, whoop, like that. I could just feel my cheeks go, like that. So
if you've seen anyone that looks like Russell Brand and Brian Blessed
on any of the videos,
that's
us. That's us. But those pants are now in the charity, mate.
Are they?
Unused, other than that one time. I'm not doing that again, mate. I'm wearing baggies next time. Baggies and shorts. I should have brought shorts. But the weather was gorgeous.
It was lovely.
It was at the Magna Centre.
It was well organised.
Yeah, very well organised. Magna Centre is a big old steelworks, isn't it? That's been converted into like a conference centre. It's worth going, isn't it?
Lovely people to organise it. Really easy going. Just easy. When we got in there, Bill didn't know what to expect, but he seems to have enjoyed it, didn't you?
The other thing that stood out was the food at the restaurant at the entrance was really good quality, and it was really, really cheap.
Was it?
Because you normally get ripped off at these places. You know, if you go to the NEC and places like that, pasta costs you a tenner. It was really good food. It was really nicely cooked. People serving it were very helpful. The whole place was busy as it could be, but it was so well organised. There was a nice flow through.
It wasn't.
There was never a point. Never a point when you felt overwhelmed by the crowd. So even if you don't like crowds very much, if you get there earlier in the morning or late in the afternoon, you'll find a reasonable. Because I know a lot of people, since COVID in particular, don't like crowded places. But this was. There was plenty of room between the stalls, wasn't there? There was a good flow through. They could have packed a whole other row in there if they wanted to, but I think they were more worried about the quality than the quantity, weren't they?
Did you chat to Andy Cope?
I went to Andy Cope. Andy Cope was there. I had a great time looking at the stuff on his stall.
Good stuff.
Absolutely brilliant.
Andy's a great guy.
Andy's great. His wife was there. She was very pleasant, very helpful.
Yeah.
The display there had such density to it, didn't it? And you look at the breadth of Andy's work.
Yeah, there's a guy next to us that held on T-shirts. They were nice people. Bleeding Marvellous, they were on the other side. It was just it's a nice event.
There was even a TV company that used to be the Horror Channel. KT
something like that. It was good.
Yeah, that was very good. But they were very helpful. They were giving out key rings and things like that. So some freebies on the way, and there was interviews and displays. There was
talks, weren't there?
Talks. There was talks, and there was like a museum of curiosities, which was really good as well. These like tiny little curiosity things from like mermaids and stuff.
Was he?
It was in one of the side rooms, and there was this. How can I put it? A body painting organisation. And one of the ladies with the horns and the big heels, she was looking pretty well painted to me, I have to say.
Did you pick some graphic novels up?
I did. I'll bring them in next time and show them.
This is good. This is a unique idea, this is.
Somebody's got these out of copyright films like Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney Sr. and Nosferatu. And London After Midnight, and what they've got is they've digitised the stills from the films, and they've made graphic novels from them. They've added a lot to it with Photoshop, but it's almost like a dreamy kind of black and white movie in
a book form.
We'll put the name of the company on the end, but they had a lot of very old fashioned classic stuff like that, and some 1970s sort of Italian horror that's out of copyright. But they're really well worth it, and the quality of it was printed, and the prices were very reasonable. And that's the other thing about the thing. I didn't see one thing there that I looked at and thought, oh, that's expensive. When I looked at it, I thought, blimey, that's reasonable. Yeah. Even some of the masks that were like 450, 500 quid,
weren't
they were like, you could see the work and the quality that got into that.
Would you go again?
Oh God, yeah, I can't keep you away, mate.
So
next year, I'm going to stay in the same hotel as this lot.
Well, the hotel is a different story.
I ended up in a travel lodge in the back of Beyond. I thought I was going to a really nice travel lodge in Rotherham. I wasn't. I was going to another travel lodge, which was perfectly serviceable, but on the other side of town, and the motorway closed up on Saturday night. And I ended up driving about 20 minutes out of my way to get back into Sheffield.
No.
So, but you know what? I've learned my lesson. Don't skimp on the hotel because you pay in the end.
You're going to the Holiday Inn with
I'm going to Holiday Inn. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Travel Lodge is fine. Shout out to the people at Travel Lodge. It's clean, it's tidy, it's a great place to sleep, but they're not always in the most salubrious of places, are they?
You took you a bit. Do you want to tell them about the sexy supermarket?
Oh yeah, I was looking for the Holiday Inn, right, and I was driving. Dave said it's right over from a sex shop, and I thought, what in the middle of it? Like, it's the sexy supermarket. It's the biggest adult shop in the country.
Yeah,
it's about the size of a B&Q in it.
Well, I've not been in you, but
no, I haven't been in. I went past it about 4 times because the sat nav insisted that I went there.
Dave, I'm in the sexy supermarket.
Supermarket, come and save me.
The woman doesn't know where it is.
She doesn't know where the Holiday Inn is. But it's like it's a big place, so I'm sure there's something in there for everybody. In fact, I'm pretty sure everybody's in there.
So it was a good show.
Brilliant show, great people. Shout out to Sheffield as well because it's an amazing place.
Yeah, it is. We're going to show you in a short while some of the stuff that we had, and it's new stuff, which will tie it to the kits and stuff as well in a second. Just a little bit of a chat as well about next weekend. Guys across the pond have got their show coming up, which is Wonderfest.
Wonderfest, yeah.
So hopefully we'll get some footage from there. We've got our roving reporters going round there to fill us in on it. Now, I've been to Wonderfest. It's a fantastic show, amazing. That is a garage kit show. It's in a kind of old, massive hotel, like they do in America. They do things loads bigger than us. So there's going to be quite a few guys over there selling the wares. So that'll be all over the internet next weekend. Hopefully we'll get some some video footage, coverage off our guys over there next weekend.
Is it where is it? Not Atlanta or something?
No, it's in Louisville.
Isn't that where Muhammad Ali was born?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's right.
Kentucky, Louisville.
Yeah, that's
right.
Kentucky,
Kentucky, Louisville, same thing. Where the races are. I've been twice. Really nice show. Some really fantastic people there. Go and check out Jesse Garcia's table. He's got some fantastic stuff on there. Big friend of mine, Jesse. Tell him Dave sent you if you're over there. Rob and Norbert are displaying as well, so they've got a table. Check out Danny Scirocco. He's garage kit legend. This stuff is a old school garage kit. Go and see all his old B movies, Twilight movies.
Because they have informative displays there as well as vendors. They have like historical stuff. I mean, the Aurora Society a couple of years ago did prehistoric scenes. Yeah. And my business partner in America, Mark, he had a big table of add-on kits for that. So it is a really big deal, isn't it? And it's sort of top notch. I mean, and the people they have there doing the signings and stuff like that, the special guests.
Yeah, it's good.
They're normally like A-listers, aren't they?
If it wasn't for the price of the flights, I'd go every year. It's just expensive to get, but it's well worth it when you get there. It's a good show, Wonderfest. It's stood the test of time.
Yeah.
So what have we got to look at today?
Well, just to start us off, we talk a lot. We would have been talking about the Outer Limits at one point last week, just to mention them. But here we go.
That's Terry Doyle, isn't it?
It's Terry Doyle. He's done a series of these Outer Limits characters, hasn't he?
Well, since we did the video, we had such a good response. Yeah. We decided to go along, and I've given Terry free rein on. Sorry, this is the second in second in the series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second or third in the series, and I just say which one do you want to do, and he shows me the picture.
This has when you watch the original. I can't remember the episode, but this one.
It's the one where he goes in that shop, isn't it?
Yes.
Remember?
This is like a really weird effect in it. It's like an X-ray negative effect. It's almost like this has been projected onto in the original film. So this is going to be a real challenge for paint.
Yeah.
If you want to paint this, you've got a real challenge for the paint, and that's the beauty of this.
But this one's available from next week.
Yeah, but what I did notice about this, like you think sometimes people get subliminal, subconscious ideas for characters. I think it looks remarkably like Deadpool.
And it just done it.
It does. The mouthlessness of Deadpool, because the original Deadpool didn't have a mouth in the original X-Men movies. So, but if you look at that, there's a kind of real kind of Deadpool look about it. But I do like it. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of detail in the neck and the jaw and stuff like that. So there's plenty to get your dry brush onto.
It's 10 inches tall, 9 inches.
9 inches, yeah, it's good. It's not a shelf killer by any means.
No, so it's a good addition to the stuff. If you go on to the UKGK page, you'll see Terry's put a video up at this guy
you can see
walking about the shop, and that kind of bit unnerving, really.
It is. For the time, it was one of those things that when you were a kid, it would have stuck with you for a couple of years.
It's very much the case. But that one's going to be into rubber this week, hopefully.
Yeah.
So it'll be end of the week.
And eventually, you can collect the whole set.
You can.
Like T cards used to be.
Like
PG Tips T cards.
PG Tips.
But we've got quite a lot of stuff on the table today just to whiz through, because these are a lot of the things we took with us to the show.
Yeah.
And it's nice to show people what you can purchase, particularly pre-painted. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're like me and you can't be bothered with painting and you want a really good collection, you can find painters, can't you?
Yeah.
You can find painters for military stuff. I was looking on this morning, and there's a guy. I've got a Sunderland flying boat that I was thinking of having done, and I thought, well, 350 quid. And to be honest with you, when I looked at the guy's work, I was actually thinking, that's not bad. But these, the price you pay is the price you pay, isn't it? This is the paint and the kit. Well, so you might want to be thinking, maybe I want to get a pre-paint. Yeah,
well, what the reason we decided to show you these is the new, all of them are new releases or reissues. But in the past, guys have said, well, we can't see what it is.
Yeah.
So now you've got colour on it. It's going to make it easier for you.
Super technical.
We were going to do preview the Jaws ones, but they went out the door on Saturday.
I mean, the Jaws kits we've been showing you over the last couple of weeks, when they're pre-paints,
they're
fantastic. And I said, let's do that next week, but because they've all gone.
The customer came from.
So we will feature them because I think people need to see them pre-painted.
First up,
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Let's go backwards in time for this, and This is an absolute stunner of a kit, right down from the actual likeness of Max Schreck.
That's the one.
Who's the original Nosferatu. Later played by, what's he called?
William Dafoe. He did. Oh, God.
Yeah, anyway, he did the remake of Nosferatu.
Yeah.
The original movie was by Murnau, wasn't it? Klaus Kinski.
That's it.
But you can see Klaus Kinski looks pretty much like that without the makeup.
Yeah.
But so did Max Schreck, who's a very famous German stage actor. And
this is by Andy Copeland.
Andy Copeland, if you look at it, I mean, come on.
Look at that.
Look at the detail on the claws.
Little mouse, little rat.
The rat, and obviously there's a capstan, there's a sailing ship wheel there. Now, if you know the legend of, the book by Dracula by Bram Stoker, he came in on a ship called the Demeter into Whitby.
Just did a film of that, didn't
he? Just a film of that, yeah. And in the original movie, Nosferatu, it was Germanised, and he couldn't call it Dracula because of copyright. Bram Stoker's family were really heavy on copyright, so when Murnau wanted to make this thing, he wanted to call it Dracula, but they wouldn't let him, so he called it Nosferatu. And the ship and everything, it's pretty much a blow-by-blow Dracula kind of copy, intending to have been Dracula.
Oh, right.
So the Nosferatu is the old German kind of word for kind of the undead. So this is how he got to be called Nosferatu. But I have to say,
this one's now available, painted by Rachel.
This is beautiful. If you saw this in a movie museum, you wouldn't be surprised.
I like the green.
The green's great.
I think the green really sets it off. Next one, Bill.
So next one, if we're going kind of backwards in time, should we do this one, which is absolutely one of my favourite kits at the moment. Then it also relates to the show. There we go.
That one is.
Ooh, I've just bumped Mike.
Jack Goodwin.
Yes.
And that one is sculpted by Neil Sims.
Yeah, American Werewolf in London. Look at the detail on that.
I managed to get one of mine signed by the guy. The detailing, if you look at it, all on the chair, it's got all. He was
very. I believe the actor was very impressed with his own likeness. He was like amazed by this.
Really nice guy.
And I think David Morrissey was a bit jealous because David Morrissey's got an action figure, but he hasn't got the statue.
Not by us.
Not by us. But if you look at the back there, I think you got signed on the back.
I got mine signed across the year.
Yeah,
he signed me mine for my own personal.
If you have a look at that, that's great, and the detail on the face.
Hello, David.
And a little. You've got another one of these, haven't you? You've got a bigger one, haven't you?
Right, the one that I'm going to fetch next time, because we're going to do a special American Werewolf in London edition.
Oh, yeah, because that sold really well at the show, didn't it?
Yeah, so we got two
Classic.
of these, and then Andy did the other one that we had at the show. So we're going to do an American Werewolf in London special at some point. So I'm going to show you the versions of Jack and David that we've got. Andy Copeland did me a bust to go with my other one. It'll all become clear in the episode. This little gentleman is Sam from Trick or Treat. That's him with the mask. That's him without the mask. That one's Steve Peacock, and that one's Tony Gibson.
Yeah, these are really lovely. This Tony Gibson one in particular with the sack and all the textures on the.
Yeah, it's good.
It's beautiful. The Hessian textures on that. You know, when you look at it, it looks cute, doesn't it? And it looks almost like a baby in a romper suit. And then when you whip the mask off, that's what's underneath.
That's what's underneath. He's got all the little treats, the trick or treat sack there.
I think it goes to show the versatility of the character and the versatility of the artist. Because if you were a Trick or Treat fan, if you just wanted one, I think I'd probably go for this one. But if you were a fan and you were the movie was a big deal to you, you could have both of these nicely.
That one by Steve Peacock.
Yeah.
Steve will be These are both available for yourselves, by the way. Yeah. Steve will be at this year's UK GK show, which again we'll do reviews up and coming.
Very distinctive colour scheme. Well, you can see them from a mile away, can't you?
I think that's what basically people like. I think the colour draws people to it.
Yeah, it's got a very, very clear sort of.
It draws.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a logo in a sense, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a good one. That one is.
So that's good. Then this one, which is one of my favourites, and I always think Paul Fay's one of the best sculptors around at the moment, particularly when it comes to doing stuff with hair.
Ludo.
And there's Ludo from
Labyrinth.
And as you can see. There's also a little worm on there as well. Strange enough, at the show, the big worm with the fuzzy purple hair coming out of it,
sold
just like hotcakes.
Yeah, sold out. So a good seller.
Yeah, but people really admired this when they were coming past, particularly the younger people who just recently rediscovered Labyrinth. I think it's had a bit of a resurgence, hasn't it? Because we've had. Wasn't there a TV show on Disney which was like an episodic version of this with the Skeksis, another one of Paul's?
Big Skeksis.
Skeksis, yeah.
I think we should do a Jim Henderson one, shouldn't we?
Yeah, Jim Henderson. And the thing with Jim Henderson, it's like a lot of fairy tale stuff. It looks dead cute and like accessible and cuddly, but actually there's a lot of darkness behind it, isn't there?
Yeah.
And this little worm and this Minotaur thing.
Do you know the lad that helps me, Ben? Have you met him?
Yeah, I've met Ben. Yeah. There's a bit of there is a resemblance. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Shout out to Ben, who looks a little bit like Ludo.
Now, what, Ben? I know you won yesterday, but it could be based on you.
Could be based on you. Look at the eyes, mate. Look at the eyes. So that's good. Then another sort of perennial, which has got a bit of a resurgence at the moment, is Beetlejuice. I mean, there's a remake of Beetlejuice going on. If you watch the original movie, it has a point in time for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to burn the whole thing down. They really got on my nerves.
Yeah, I'm not a big Tim Burton.
I'm not a big Tim Burton fan in that sense. I like his art direction. I think he's got a fantastic imagination.
Can I just say something about Tim Burton? He's ruined every of my heroes. Planet of the Apes and Batman. I think with Tim Burton, and let us know in the comments below, guys, visually, they're amazing.
Knocks it out of the park, doesn't he?
But the actual content, I think it's awful.
I don't get it.
Like Planet of the Apes look great.
Yeah.
Batman looked great. Don't get me wrong, I like 89 Batman. It's probably my favourite, but he looked fantastic. But for me, Tim Burton, it looks great, but the content, not so good.
If you give a director too much free rein, and a very visual director like Tim Burton. He's very visual. And once he starts to get into deep plotting or lengthy narratives, I think he tends to lose his way.
Yeah, because the apes were just awful.
And it was the penguin was featured in that movie, wasn't
fantastic.
it?
Fantastic.
And he was great, but all those penguins marching around with missiles and stuff, I just felt that
don't get me wrong, the Batman stuff was some of my favourite, but the story's got no substance.
And of course, Michael Keaton.
Again, he loves Keaton.
Again, Batman. I love Keaton's Batman in the first one. For me, for the film Batmans, obviously Adam West is always going to be Batman for me. But for the film Batmans, Michael Keaton, I didn't expect him to be as good as he was. And you know what? He owned that part.
He did.
People like Val Kilmer with a bit more of a square, heroic look. And even the latest Christopher Nolan Batman, they're great. But you know what? He nailed this. And
I don't like the new one. What's his name? The guy from
Christian
Twilight.
Bale.
No, guy from Twilight.
Oh, I watched that one and I found that very down key.
Emo.
I didn't like it.
Not like up to that.
But that's a lovely sculpt look, and if
that's by Andy Copeland. That's available as well.
It's horror for kids. This, in a sense, isn't it?
Very popular.
Very popular.
So that's about a third scale. So that one's available, guys. If anybody wants one of them, give us a shout. But that got a lot of interest at the show, didn't it? People were very. I think once again, you've got that corporate image look. Yeah.
Like you've got the Trick or Treat orange. You've got this.
It
stands out, doesn't it?
It's like a siren. Yeah. It's like pulling you to.
Yeah, this is almost like this dazzle ship camouflage you had in the First World War. Anybody who's a military will know what I'm talking about. But this black and white sort of thing, it breaks up the pattern, but at the same time, it's very distinctive. Lovely paint job, Rachel.
Rachel again.
Oh, obviously, yeah. So now, one of my favourite ever horror movies from the 1980s. I remember seeing this in Stoke-on-Trent. It's Fright Night.
Oh right.
Fright Night. I just loved Fright Night because first, Roddy McDowell.
Yeah.
Not as an ape.
Yeah.
It had a really good vampire who was like a traditional, slightly Disney but vampire. Who morphs into like a bat creature at the end. You got no CGI whatsoever. It's all real time effects. Yeah. It's all rubber in it. It's all rubber,
which we like,
which we love. That real sort of visceral animatronics, pneumatics, all that stuff that like. It's quite scary because it's really there. There's no what I call CGI blur.
Yeah.
And this is the main protagonist's mother, isn't it?
Amy.
And look at that. I mean,
That's Andy Copeland.
Oh, I mean, when I saw that effect, I thought, that is so ridiculous. It's horrific.
It's good, isn't it?
That massive, toothy sort of look about her she has.
good.
I mean, if you look at the film now, you can kind of see how the effect is done. You know, with the built-up prosthetic and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. It's still horrific. Imagine somebody as beautiful as her suddenly looking like that.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Strangely alluring at the same time, strangely terrifying. You know, but love this. And if you look at this, this is what for me it's the devil's in the detail. Look at that base. I mean, that's like in the vampire's lair. He lives in this old dark house. Obviously, Bill Paxton plays his caretaker. In this vampire lair, you've got this very, very American kind of gothic house.
I'll be in there, won't I?
And that is like at the end of the stairs, you've got these like almost like beacons. And that's it. And you know that's quality.
This one's still available.
Still available,
and it's a quarter scale.
And how long? It's been out a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's a good one.
Even so,
I'm trying to talk Andy into doing it in a bigger scale. So fingers crossed we can get it done in a larger scale.
I think it's a testament to a good kit that it sells really quickly at the start, but you have like a kind of then it slowly keeps going, doesn't it? And then people pop into the place and say, have you still got one of those Fright Nights? Yeah. Because I saw it by my mate the other day, and that's it. That's the thing of a good kit. It's got a longevity about it, hasn't it?
That's a good one.
It's a good one. It's lovely. Now we can't really talk about. I mean, there was lots of people dressed as this character, wasn't there? There was a lot of stripy jumpers at HorrorCon
with hats.
With hats, dressed as Freddy. Freddy is like
the iconic 80s and he slasher.
I think what I love about this character is that the actual actor himself is actually really lovable.
I like him, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like he is horrific, but he's your granddad. It's a little bit like it's like Peter Cushing being evil in dare I say it?
Star Wars. You can say it, yeah.
The Grand Moff Tarkin, because I always think that sounds like a Kama Sutra position.
Yeah.
Grand Moff Tarkin, when you got your evil granddad, and when you meet him in real life, he's an
really
absolute
nice
sweetheart.
Yes,
and you think, oh, you know, it's like Christopher Lee and all of those, but he's the same. And
that's Paul Feig.
Paul Feig. Now, this. Not only is it superb from the front, that is a great likeness. The actual surface detail's amazing. You get the blades with this kit too, don't you? You get blades to put on that hand there. But look at this. This is the knockout. This is the coup de grace, so to speak. Look at that. Look at that.
Flesh there's all the souls.
And knowing Paul, that's anatomically correct, isn't it?
Paul's good.
And then you got all the sort of absorbed souls coming out of there. Now that.
It's like a chunk of flesh.
Oh, yeah. And it's... Well, you know, when we took, I mean, I can't help doing this because I'm kind of formally trained as a sculptor, and when I see this nice little bun foot like this, when you've got that, if this goes directly onto the surface, you lose the impact of all this beautiful swathe of sort of rotten flesh. Whereas if you just bring it up a little bit,
it looks right.
It's like the Fright Night sculpture.
Aesthetically, it's correct.
Aesthetically, it's totally correct. Yeah. It gives you the right height for the width of the actual sculpture as well.
Looks great.
It looks slender. I mean, it's old, but you know what?
We've remastered it.
Remastered. So it's been worth remoulding.
Yeah, we've remoulded it and we've changed it. The original one didn't have that bit on, so we've added the base to lift it up. We took the hat off. So the hat comes in one piece now, whereas it used to come with a
Who's the guy who does the wooden blocks? Oh, Pete. I'm sure if you do have a sculpt that you want to raise up, if you get in touch with Pete
Watson.
Pete Watson, he's got beautiful blocks, hasn't he? Beautiful wooden blocks, walnut burr, anything that'll bring your sculpture up and very reasonably priced, aren't they? So we're getting towards a sort of more modern era of the. Now this is something that really surprised me because I'd have thought this was a little bit old hat, but they sold so well, didn't they? Yeah. And this is by a relatively new sculptor, isn't it?
It's Steve Colmore, the young American guy.
Look at that. You'd be surprised how many of them just went.
It flew out, didn't they?
It did, and for people like me, I would never have thought of Scream as a classic, but a lot of the kids now
love it.
This is like this is to them what movies like, I don't know, Mad Max and Dracula were to us. This is the modern classics. This is the sort of thing in years to come. People say, "Oh, I remember the first time I saw that Scream. It was brilliant," you know. But I mean, once again, you got a massively brilliant corporate image. You can't mistake that for anything.
It's just well done, that as well. It's just simple,
it's
but
simple,
well.
But
It works.
The detail.
It works. I think it works. I think once you've got colour on it, that works.
Yeah.
It's
even
a lovely
if you look
piece.
at the back of it, it's not just a front side sculpture, is it? It's got a bit of a...
I think Steve's got a big future if he carries on. We've got to encourage these youngsters.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really nice guy. He likes his 80s slashes, but I mean, to me, that's just for Scream. It doesn't get any better, does it?
No, and if you were new to the hobby and you wanted something relatively simple to start off, which is going to look good regardless of your painting skill.
Yeah.
And of course, years later, you can always repaint like I do.
Yeah.
If you your first kit or your first sort of horror bust, not only is it easy to paint, it's effective, and you could stick it on your shelf.
What I like about this is how Rachel's has put the subtle shading in.
Yeah, because if you look there, you can just see the grey tones around the face. I mean, the camera doesn't do it justice. It looks a little bit... It's very, very clear on the camera, but in real life, that is very subtle shade, and it really does bring out the face.
Well done, Steve. You've done a great job.
It's amazing. Because, we're not... A lot of these kits we see, to be fair, are very, very beautiful. They're very expensive. In real terms, they're not that expensive, but you would think lay people who are not in the hobby would look at it and think that's a bit of money. Yeah. But actually, I look at it and think, God, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of one of those things that you start off with. So I'm highly commending this because for me,
very good.
That was the one that flew off the quickest off the store.
Very good. Got
a couple left now.
It kind of fits in with that one, doesn't it? Because it's the same sort of. This is by our friend Paul Willits.
Paul Willits, look at that. Absolutely.
It's Jigsaw, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Jigsaw. And if you look at it...
It looks like a puppet, doesn't it?
It does look like a puppet, but Rachel, once again, she's put it out the bag, hasn't she? Look at that.
She's got a good job at all.
I mean, I got a lot of different textures on here and a lot of different finishes. You got these shiny eyeballs. You got the dull, sort of almost pan stick makeup look at the face.
Yes.
And those spirals on the cheeks. To be fair, somebody like Rachel can paint them spirals.
I can't.
I'd have to make a decal. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd have to get on the old printer, get some decal material.
I wouldn't even attempt it.
No. And the other thing is, when you look at the way they're painted, that's how they're painted. They're all hand painted. And on a real thing, it's hand painted. It's somebody's just got a pen and like that.
Brilliant. That went pretty well.
That went well. People. I mean, something like this, quite small, but it's so distinctive because of the colourways.
Well, you know what it is, don't you? You know who it is straight away. You
see it. You know it. You know it. So if you've got that on your shelf at home in your collection, even people who aren't into the hobby, they're going to recognise that straight away. It's a bit like the Scream and Beetlejuice.
They're like 80s sort of classics, aren't they?
Now this is one of my favourites from the show. Once again, I don't think the video is going to do it justice, but this is a lovely sculpt by Paul Fates, very, very new. Paul works. He gets something in his head, doesn't he? And he works on it, and it's straight away, and he bang out it comes. But the quality is superb.
Superb. That's a ghoul in it from Fallout.
And that's a ghoul from Fallout, and
that's painted by
Owen.
Owen painted that one. Shout out to Owen.
Yeah, this is Owen's paint. Obviously, I think you'll see a lot of this character over the next couple of years. He'll become a bit of a sort of sci-fi-ish cult icon, won't he?
I think so.
And this got a lot of interest at the show from younger people.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's easy for us to sort of pontificate about stuff, but we forget that our idea of the hobby is going to be a lot different to the idea of the kids that are coming through.
Yeah.
And I think in 10 years' time, this is going to be
a Freddy.
It's going to be Freddy, isn't it? It's going to be Freddy.
Yeah.
Especially if the series carries on, which it probably will, because it's in for the second series apparently.
Right. Okay.
So so that's going to be around quite a long time.
So this one's now available, guys. It's about a quarter scale.
Yep.
This one particularly is painted by Owen, sculpted by Paul Fay. So if anybody wants one of these, just give us a shout. Yeah. And that's actually in production, so it's out there. I think
if you look at I don't know if we can get the detail on the face because the lighting's not perfect here, but look at that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential in there for a very subtle paint job.
Very good, yeah. Like I say, Owen's done a good job of that.
Good, yeah.
So they're the ones, guys. That's a bit of a preview. We're glad to be back. It's nice to be back. Thank you for all the birthday wishes that I got last week. It means a lot. Getting old now, Bill.
But aren't we, mate, though?
You know what getting old means, don't you, mate? 3 things happen when you get old.
Lots and lots of trips to the toilet at night.
No, I was thinking of first thing that happens when you get old is you lose your memory. 3 things. You got the other 2 are, don't you?
No, I forgot.
I don't know, can't remember.
I tell you what, though. Since Ruth has subscribed to our channel.
Ruth?
Ruth, she's seen us too, mate, and that's what Eamon's out, mate.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah, well Ruth, she's seen us. She said, I'm not. I don't know who it is that she's after, mate, but it's one of the two of us. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
The old Ron Burgundy of
Ron Burgundy,
UKGK there. Again, thanks.
If you're in America, I'm sorry about that. If you're in America watching us, Ruth and Eamon are like TV presenters.
Oh,
who are going their separate ways.
I know what you're about now.
But since she subscribed to the channel, what can I say?
She's after Ron Burgundy.
She's after Ron Burgundy. So.
Right, guys, thank you very much for watching.
It's been absolutely great to be back.
It's been brilliant.
Superb,
it's been brilliant. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below.
A big shout out to everybody that saw me at HorrorCon who didn't know who the hell I was, which is fair enough for me.
It's the one in the tight jeans.
I'm the one in the tight pants.
I'm the one that was sat there all day. Thanks, Kate, for the lovely cake, and we hope to see you soon. We'll try and get that 50s one done. See you later, guys.